Okay, Oklahoma coach Porter Moser has joined us now. And Coach, if you're comfortable, get us started with some general comments.
I am. I am comfortable. Thank you.
Any general comments about your team?
Oh, general comments?
Yes, sir.
Sure. I'm comfortable doing that too. No, I'm excited. I know with the transfer portal and everything every year, there's a lot of turnover, a lot of new guys. We can talk about the negatives of a lot of the transfer portal, but the positives are you can add key additions, and we feel like we have. I think just the biggest takeaway from our summer workouts and our fall workouts is that we're definitely longer and more athletic to enable us to play faster. We just have not simply been very athletic and in the best conference in the country. And I'm excited about some of the length we brought in. We brought in some speed from the guard spots. So I think that's the first thing you're going to see different about our Oklahoma team is our athleticism.
Okay, remember, if you've got a question, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. We'll be looking for your name and your affiliation. Coach, we're going to have one here in this middle section on the third row.
Yeah, Coach, Kevin Sweeney from Sports Illustrated. You mentioned the athleticism and whatnot. I'm curious, looking back, if maybe the adjustment to coaching in this league and recruiting in this league was a little greater than you thought it'd be when you came from Loyola.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't greater than I thought it'd been, because even at Loyola, we played the best of the best, even through the NCAA tournaments and everything. It was just the difficulties my first year of having to sign everybody through Zoom, and other NIL issues you may have, and in my first two recruiting classes. But we've, for instance, my true first freshmen that we signed when I got to Oklahoma were two top 100 kids, Milo Suzan and Otega Uwe. Both of them ended up starting for us. Both of them are back, and both of them have taken a huge step. And both of them are those fit the athleticisms. It just takes time to get your transfer portal guys, but it wasn't where I came in here thinking it wasn't going to be athletic. It was just some of the obstacles of right when we got here. We were in a pandemic, we couldn't go out, we had Zoom, all this. But I think we really did a good job in the transfer portal addressing it. And I think the guys we were able to retain, Milos and Otega, even Sam Godwin was athletic coming off our bench for us. So I think we retained some of our athleticism, and we definitely added some pieces of athleticism.
Coach, we're still in the middle section on the fourth row back.
Hey, Coach Isaac Trotter with 24/7. How do your approach in the transfer portal kind of change when you're trying not to stunt Milos's growth, but also find the right pieces to make this program really, really good?
No, it is a challenge, because that 60-day window when your season's over, is you're laying your head on that pillow every night on retention, but also you're laying your head on that pillow every night on filling spots. And Milos unequivocally was our point guard. Once he earned that spot, and pretty much his whole freshman year, I thought he had a great freshman year. And we told him, I said, I'm recruiting you to come back to be our captain. And but there was another player like Jalen Hill. We lost Jalen Hill a couple days before the portal closed. So that's the trick too. Is you could go the first 55 days of the portal thinking that you have a returning starter. And in those 55 days, there might have been a lot of guys that went in the portal that signed. And all of a sudden, you need that spot again. That's a trickiness. And Milos was steadfast the whole time in the portal the whole time where that window was open, man. I wanted to come back. He wanted to come back. His goals of where we want to take this program. And then he came back and we said what it was. He was going to be, right out of the gate as a sophomore, going to be our captain. And he's been taking that leadership, and he's ran with that leadership. But retention is everything, in my opinion, because you want to develop and retain and stay with guys, because that's what we had at Loyola. You're hoping that the 9 newcomers is not the new normal.
Coach, we're going to be to your right here on the second row.
Andy Mitz, Blue Wings Rising. Coach, with you guys moving to the SEC next season, how does that change both your approach to this season itself playing, but then also recruiting and having guys come in potentially for multiple seasons in 2 different conferences?
It really doesn't change a thing, because we've known we've gone to the SEC. We're playing. It's not like some of the, sometimes when, that you're moving up drastically to a new conference. I mean, the Big 12 has been the best basketball conference unequivocally the last 2 years that we've been in it. So the thing is, there's going to be a time and an excitement to talk about what we're going to do. But right now, our focus and our feet are planted in Big 12 basketball. And it doesn't change the approach on recruiting. I mean, you're looking at elite leagues, elite players. I mean, it isn't saying, well, we got to recruit better players because it's not. I mean, we're used to that, the level we're recruiting to. And it's constantly about developing, retaining, and adding pieces that can help you win a championship. And so our approach this year has been about where our feet are planted to get over that bump, over that line, to get into the tournament. And our goal is not to get into the tournament. Our goal is to get in the tournament to give us an opportunity to win a championship. And I know in the last 2 years we've beaten some of the top elite teams. You know, last year beating Alabama, we beat Kansas State, who went to Elite Eight. You know, we've competed. We've got to get over that hump to give us a chance to win a national championship.
Coach, we're still on the second row, over to your right.
Hi, Coach. Alec Bussey, 24/7, right here. You talked a little bit earlier there about the transfer portal and losing kids later in the cycle. Can you explain how much you think the portal window being shorter is going to potentially decrease the amount of kids that go into the portal, or I guess maybe even make it easier for coaches like yourself to maintain roster and understand the identity of what you're going to have?
Yeah, I know. I don't know if a lot of coaches over Media Day, I haven't followed it, have been outspoken about it, but I know talking amongst coaches underneath, we were really hoping for 30 days. So yes, it's shorter to 45, so it's better. It's 15 shorter. We were hoping for 30. But it is at 45, and you know, those are 45 days where you're laying your head on your pillow, like I said. And you know, sometimes a young man could say, you know, that, but there's sometimes outside influences to get him to go to another place. And so that is a you know, because here's the thing, like there's no way I want, you know, with Milos, like, or some of the other guys who take it, you want them back. You just, you know, invested in them. But then if you don't get somebody back, you have to bring in somebody to compete at this level. And that's been something. But the portal window, it's better. It went from 60 to 45. And I'll be outspoken. I don't know if any of the other coaches said it, but I know we were hoping for 30. So you know where you're at. You know if someone's leaving, or if you're staying, or if someone's going to get into the portal.
Coach, we're going to go to the middle section, front row.
Neil Meyer with the Front Office News. You guys bringing in a guy like John Hughley this offseason from Pittsburgh. Just talk about what you've seen from him this offseason and what he brings to the table for your team this season.
He gives us a huge physical presence inside. We've got to get him to be in our standard is to be for him is the best conditioned athlete he's ever been in his life. We've watched him score 15 and 8 in the ACC. He gives us, he's a really good passer down low. He's a guy that can carve out space. He's, you know, a lot of teams switch in this league. We got hurt last year when teams switched onto our 5 and physically down low. It's going to be very hard to switch with him. He is a very, very power player that carves out space down low. So that's what we're hoping for him. He gives us a different inside presence.
Got time for maybe one or two more questions? Last one will be right here on the front row, middle section.
Hi, Coach. Ryan Roberts with Riverfront Cincy. Cincinnati's a new team that's on your schedule this year. Can you just describe what they bring to the league and what some of the challenges are with playing on the road in that environment?
Yeah, absolutely. I've known Wes in the profession. I've watched him from afar. I know how elite a coach he is, and I know what they're doing there at Cincinnati. I know the home crowd. They've got a great home court atmosphere there. So, and just knowing, you know, him and what he's going to bring, you know, very, very tough defensive team, very, very well coached. And then you throw in that atmosphere. And I know there's an excitement to come to the Big 12. So that's what we're expecting. They're one of the teams we play twice. So I know when we go to Cincinnati, it'll just be like a lot of the other Big 12 venues, that it'll be very, very loud and, you know, energetic, and right up in Oklahoma for leaving.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.